Set from Forex with a plug for a book called High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns. Before we get into that plug, we just want to give you our disclaimer real quick to remind you that this video is for illustrative and educational purposes only, although it is a promotion for our book. So before you do that, also, we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forex Trading Unlocked, and now we will get into what the book is all about. High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle versions. So let's get to our live action screen. We have the Forex-Trading-Unlocked.com website pulled up, and if you go to our Products, Courses, and Services tab, you can pull up the High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns page, and on that page we have a video that you can watch that will describe the different patterns and methodologies and things that you'll learn in the book. We also have a little copy of the book on the web page here, Japanese Candlestick Patterns, where you can either buy it or you can share it, but first you can preview it and check it out. And then at the bottom of the page you can also join our email list and subscribe to that if you would like, and you can also find access to other parts of our website from this page as well. So one of the reasons you want to read this book is so you can learn how to trade these signals. Now if you look at the US dollar Swiss chart from recently, we had a bullish engulfing line buy signal that had occurred here back on November 9th. We also have today a buy signal forming. The trading of day is not over yet, but if this market settles where it's at or higher, that would complete either a piercing line or another bullish engulfing line buy signal. If you want to learn how to trade these buy and sell signals, then you go back, like I said, to our web page and access High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, preview it, and start learning on how you can actuate these actual trading signals. Now, ironically, Japanese candlestick patterns, which obviously come out of Japan, these methods have been used for over 400 years to trade the stock markets, Forex markets, currency markets, option markets, you name it. Well, recently, when we had back in November, we had a bullish engulfing line buy signal here that had stamped a nice low on a daily basis. And now we have today, we have another high probable Japanese candlestick pattern forming, but we have to wait for the close and for follow through. You want to learn how to apply to either your system or to use our methodology. You read the book, High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, and you'll be able to find out how to actuate these trades. Now, these signals, they occur often in many markets. They happen all the time. Just as you can see, just in the month alone of November, we had here in the US dollar yen trade, we already had a bullish engulfing line buy signal formed. We have another pattern forming here. We go back to the US dollar Swiss, and we have one forming again. And one of the nice things about knowing these signals, especially like on a day like today, when you have the US dollar Swiss and the US dollar Japanese yen forming signals at the same time, they're not always the same signal, like a bullish engulfing line or a piercing line or whatever. Like a bullish engulfing line or a piercing line or whatever, or maybe that's what you get. In one market you have a bullish engulfing line, another one you have a piercing line. But when these all line up, that gives you a good sentiment about where, especially like the dollar would be going, because the currencies are based off of the dollar. When you have a signal, say in the US dollar Swiss, the US dollar JPY, and then also say in the Euro US dollar, if you all have buy and sell signals where for the dollar or against the dollar, and they all line up on the same date or around the same date, well, that's usually a good indication of where dollar strength or weakness is, and you can use that for others, as well as the outright Forex markets itself. These can also be used in stock markets and what have you as well, but especially in the currencies, they work fantastic because you don't necessarily have to be a yen trader or a Swiss trader or a pound trader or whatever you are, but if you are trading, let's say you're a Euro US dollar trader, and all of a sudden we have this US dollar buy signal for the Swiss, and you also have a sell signal in the pound, you have a buy signal in the US dollar yen, odds are that the Euro US dollar will be trading, in at least in the short run. If there's a dollar buy signal or sell signal, that will follow through with that as well. So we'll have to learn more about that when you read the book. Or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forex Trading Unlocked, because we have videos that post all kinds of analysis on a daily and weekly basis, and whenever we have trading signals from the high probable Japanese candlestick pattern book that evolve, we usually highlight them in a short-term video, which you can find by subscribing to our Forex Trading Unlocked YouTube channel, and we have all kinds of them on there. And also, once again, check out the book High Probable Japanese. Hello everyone, this is Teddy Keckstedt from Forex Trading Unlocked, and we are here for a weekly Forex analysis for December 13th through the 18th. Before we get into our analysis, we would like to just show you the disclaimer to remind you that this webinar is for illustrative and educational purposes only. And before we get into it, one last thing we're going to take care of is just want to remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forex Trading Unlocked. And also we're going to be talking about some high probable Japanese candlestick pattern signals in this webinar, which there's also a book entitled High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle versions. And without further ado, let's go to our live screenshot here. We have the Forex-trading-unlock.com website pulled up already, and from our market analysis tab, we've pulled up the workstation page. That's already prepared. We're going to skip past the economic numbers. Now, there are a bunch of numbers for the euro, the pound, and the US dollar and the yen that are not, I wouldn't say they're mostly medium economic numbers. The biggest thing to be concerned about will be Brexit for the pound and the euro. And then we have the fact that we're coming into quarter end and year end very quickly. We only have 2 weeks left in the trading year. Can you believe that? That's pretty crazy. 2020 is almost over, which I think everybody's ready to put a nail in the coffin on this one. So we have the dollar index chart pulled up already, and as you can see, we have this downward sloping resistance line that the trend has been coming into over the past few months, and now we're trading below it. This has been pretty much buffering the dollar index trade as we've been going through from the high of the year back in March all the way down to what is now the low of the year as we head into the end of 2020. Now, right now, it's very bearish, this trend. Lower move lows, and lower move highs is indicative of what? A downward trending market. So right now, we are waiting for a signal. We're very bearish, but we are waiting for a signal because right now the dollar just seems to be overdone, and we're starting to see some divergence in currencies, and we'll go over that in just a moment. So a potential short-term bottom forming here. We ended the week with a higher move low on the over the past week and a half, but we failed to make a higher move high. So we're waiting for at least that to put us on the neutral campaign. Just by attrition, I think that as we head into the end of the year, in fact, let's just put this here so we know got our marker. Here is our end of the year, and Brexit will be happening, but Brexit doesn't matter for the dollar index. But pretty much just chop around this downward sloping resistance line. Hello everyone, this is Teddy Keckstedt from Forex Trading. Dollar index maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher. The key is to get above this 92.11 area. Any rally above there, I think we'll find decent support. Not necessarily reminding that bullish the dollar, but being short-term strength coming back. And we may start to see that as we head into the last 2 weeks of the year. All right, we have the euro US dollar pulled up here. A little over a week ago, we had a dark cloud cover sell signal. That's this top. That's where this first red day is up here. Now this dark cloud cover down since $1.1957. We have the Forex-Trading-Unlock.com website pulled up, and if you go to our products, courses, and services tab, you can pull up also has this high probable Japanese candlestick patterns page, and on that page, basically, we have a video that you can watch. March this goes back describe the different patterns and methodologies and things that you'll learn. So this trend is not that steep. We also have for us to have a copy of the book on the web page here for high probable Japanese candlestick patterns, where you can either buy it or you can share it. But first, you can preview it and check it out. And then at the bottom of the page, you can also join our email list and subscribe to that if you would like. And you can also find access to other
highly
parts
likely
of
that a rally
our
would
website
ensue
from this
that would
page
take
as
the
well.
euro-US dollar
So one of the reasons you want to read this book is so you can learn how to trade these signals. Now, if you look at the U.S. dollar Swiss chart from recently, we had a bullish. You want to read this book so you can learn how to trade these signals. Now, if you look at the U.S. dollar Swiss chart from recently, we had a bullish engulfing line buy signal that had occurred here back on November 9th. We also have
overall, I would say you have a good chance of seeing the euro-US dollar probably back trading about the 125 to 135 area.
Some engulfing line first signal. If you want to learn how to trade these buy and sell signals,
that 6 month
go
period,
back, like I said, to our webpage and access high probable Japanese candlestick patterns that can actuate these actual trading signals. Now, ironically,
at this
Japanese
sell signal
patterns, which obviously
setting
come
off
out of
a short-term correction on the daily
these methods
basis
have been used for over 400
considering
years
we
to
have
trade
the
the stock markets,
Brexit,
Forex
no
markets,
Brexit
currency
nonsense
markets,
going on
option
once again in
markets,
the EU,
between
between the UK.
well,
and,
recently, remember, we had a
we know
bullish
they're gonna
engulfing
have
line
some
buy
basic
signal
stuff
here that
that will
stamped
be
nice
passed
low
no
on a
matter
daily
what.
basis.
Just right now, I think
now
it's
we
going
have
to restrict the
today,
euro
we have
from
another
making higher move
high probable
highs.
Japanese
The
candlestick
fact that
pattern
the dollar
forming, but we have to
index
wait for the close
settled
and for
higher.
through. Now, if you want to learn how to
also looking a
apply
lot like the
these
euro in an
trading
upside
signals
way. Now,
to
remember,
either
the euro
your
is the biggest
system, if you want to
and
learn
is
how to
also looking a
apply
lot like the
these
euro in an
trading
upside
signals
way. Now,
to
remember,
either
the euro
your
is the biggest
system or
component
to
to the
use
dollar
our
index.
methodology,
The euro
you read
stretched
new
new
high
highs
probable
this
Japanese
month all the way up
candlestick
to
patterns,
this
and
sell
you'll be able to
signal
find
here,
out how to actuate
a
these
low of
trades.
$1.16
Now, these
$1.21
signals that occur often in many markets, they happen all the time.
That is a very, very
just as you can
strong
see, just in the
move
month
to
alone
all
of
of
November, we
happened
had
within a
here
period
in
of
the
just
U.S.
1
dollar
month's time.
yen
Without
trading.
any
We already
really
had a
major,
bearish,
the
bullish engulfing
coronavirus
line
thing
buy
is on
signal
the table,
formed.
but it's not
We have another
as
pattern forming
impactful as
here.
it had been
We
earlier
go
in
back
the
to
year.
the U.S. dollar.
So I think right now you're looking more at the Brexit situation.
And we have one
right now.
forming again.
So
and one of the
we'll
nice
monitor
things
this-
about
this,
knowing these signals,
situation,
especially like on a day like
just to
today,
give you a
when you
little bit
have
better
the
of a
U.S.
guide
dollar
also
Swiss
as
and
far
the
as
U.S.
for the
dollar
euro,
Japanese
the
yen
US dollar, if
forming
you take a look at the
signals at the
daily,
same
like you
time.
have
They
that
don't always,
short-term
they're not always the same
sell
signal, like a
we're
bullish
reinforced
engulfing line
on
that
the
you get
in
one market, you
sell
have a bullish
signal,
engulfing line,
that had
another one,
occurred
a piercing
right here.
line. But when
This
these all
was-
line up, that gives you a
pull
good
this up, make it
sentiment
a little higher
about
and
where,
easier.
especially like
So
the
for,
dollar would be
Friday's
going.
trading, the market
the currencies are
into
based
a lot
off of
of
the
resistance
when
here
you dollar
at the
Swiss,
end of
the
the
U.S. dollar
day
JPY,
lower,
and then
and
also say
definitely
in the euro U.S.
right
dollar.
below some key
If you all have
critical support
buy and
here
sell
around
signals where
$1.21.11.
for the dollar or against the
Any
dollar,
trading above
and
here
they all
has
line
pretty
up on the
much the
same
euro
date or around the
in a
same
neutral
date,
trade up to
a
$1.21.47.
dollar
So
strength or
bobbling
weaknesses,
around in
and you
this
can
area.
use that for options
below
plays, for spreads, for futures,
$1.21.10,
as well as the
this
outright
market is
Forex
targeting lower
market
levels,
itself.
pretty
This can
much
also
down
be
to
used in
$1.20,
stock markets and what
this
have
is
you
on
as
the
well.
hourly
But
basis.
especially in the currencies,
so on
they
the
work
hourly basis, we have the
fantastic
euro
because
US dollar
you don't
targeting
necessarily have to be a
$1.2045.
yen trader or a Swiss
Let's go
trader
back
or a
to
pound trader,
excuse
whatever
me,
you are. But if
our
you
daily
are
chart
trading,
here,
let's say you're a
and
euro
we have
US
it
dollar
going
trading
down.
US dollar.
So let's just say that
buy
we get the
signal
hourly,
for the
and that
Swiss,
touches off.
and you also
If
have
it
a
trades
sell
down
signal
to
in the
a
pound.
dollar
You have a buy signal in the US dollar yen.
that would mean that
odds are that the euro
will have
US dollar
topped over
will be
here on
trading
December
in,
4th,
at least in the short
back,
run. If
made
there's
a
a
higher
dollar,
move low,
if there's a dollar
then
buy
made
signal or
a
sell
lower
signal,
move
that
high,
will follow
which would
through
be
with that
Friday's
as well.
trading.
So we'll have
And
to
then, once we take
learn
out,
more
like
about
I said,
that when
this
you read the book.
2056,
Or you can
target.
subscribe
That
to
would mean
our
a lower
YouTube
move
channel.
low after a lower move high.
Forex trading
That would
on
definitely
Live,
have the euro US dollar in a short-term
videos that
neutral
post all kinds of
condition.
analysis
No
on a
longer
daily
on
and
the
weekly basis,
short-term
and whenever we have
bullish,
trading signals from
trend,
the high probable Japanese
format, which
candlestick
that
pattern
would
book
coincide
that
with
evolved.
our
We usually
daily
highlight them
sell
in a
signal,
short-term
and then
video,
once, like I
which you
said,
can
if it
find
hits
by
that hourly
subscribing to our
target,
Forex
doesn't
Trading
mean it's just
on
going to
Live
drop like a
YouTube
rock
channel,
down
and we
to
have all kinds of them on there.
$1.1957.
And also,
It may,
once again,
and one
check
thing
out
I
the
have
book,
to
High Probable Japanese.
typically go out like they come in. This was a very, very radical move within a 1 month's time period. I'm not saying that over the next month we're
that
going
would
to drop
mean
all the
that,
way back down to $1.16.
topped over here on
but
December
it's
4th,
very likely that we have
come back, made a
corrected
higher move low,
down to hit
then
that
made a
lower
move
move
high,
target
which
on
would
the
be
hourly
Friday's trading,
which would also have
and
us
then
grinding
once we
probably
take out, like I
support
said, this
and then
2056,
playing
that would mean a lower move low.
You may
after
see
a lot
lower
of
move
buying
high.
pressure coming
That would
in
definitely
here.
have the
So
euro
U.S. dollar in a short
penetrate this whole downside target area.
I would say if you are a bigger bear and you're riding a position down, to take a little bit off the table side with our target area, especially if you get down to $1.1957. And then once, like I said, if it if you can lower your stops and work the trade down, because you had this upward target, lower your stops and work the trade down, because you had this upward sloping support line that comes into this downside target. One thing I have to between Brexit and holidays, remember we have holiday markets coming up. This next week is our last full trading week of the year. After next week, we're going to have 2 holiday short trading weeks globally. It's going to impact the down to hit that $1.2045 target. So let's go look at the other biggest would also have dollar index, the British pound, US dollar, since we're talking about playing and flirting with it, which seems some pretty funny memes and cartoons. You may see a lot of buying pressure coming in here, so especially penetrate this whole downside target area. I would say if you are a bigger bear and you're riding it, best to take a little bit off the table of this first target area, especially if you get down to $1.1957. So politics aside, remember here, December 31st, lower your stops and Brexit trade down. Now we had a sell signal here in the British pound into this downside euro area. So between Brexit and the holidays, remember we have holidays. We had a little bit of choppy action this week. Is our last full trading week of the year. After next week, we're going to have 2 holidays start to swing trading. It has extreme ranges as well as far as volume not being any different. So let's go look at the other biggest component of the dollar index. British pound, dollar, since we're talking about the Brexit. Friday was $1.3132. Quite a big move within a period of like just a little over 48 hours. Johnson, especially now, interestingly enough, a pair of scissors. Our sell signal now has pretty much been completed because on Friday we had came down. So interesting pierced our $1.3212 going on there. Upper end price target. So politics aside, we fell just short. Remember here, December 31st. This is our Brexit marker. Now we had a sell signal here in the British pound, just like we had one in the euro. Interestingly enough, back on December, just like we're looking on the euro, we had a little bit of choppy action this high. You can see the volatility. We made a high and move low. We rallied to make a lower move high, and now Friday confirmed currencies that when it does start to swing, definitely it has extreme ranges for at least the short term. Now we're not bearish. We can see Wednesday the high. We have already hit into our target area, and just like the euro, Friday was $1.3132. Evenly, quite a big move within a period of like just a little trend going upwards. As you see this upward slope. Now, interestingly enough, this is almost like a our sell signal now has pretty much decent trend because on Friday we had slope as far as down and pierce travel above $1.3212. So for us to hit in this target area and target by attrition as we go into Brexit, we fell just short of hitting the $1.3105 area on this upper slope above support line, and then to go $32.17 just above this chop around sideways or enough rally back up, just like we're looking on the euro highs is that we had made this high is came back, we made a higher move than most likely scenario. We rallied to make a lower move high, and now neutral to slightly bearish sell rally forecast. Lower move lows and lower move highs are indicative of a bear trend. So short term we are bearish, but I would not use bearish at all. Look to sell rallies instead of selling. We have already hit into our target area, selling just like the euro. You start to see, especially the euro erode, let alone if there's a big play on all the other currencies. If the dollar gets a rally against that, then perhaps you can see the pound. This is almost like a 45 degrees. So that's a very even decent trend through this support line and take out this area for the market around $1 travel above, which I think would be your major. For us to hit in this target area, this is an area where you had a lot of Brexit. It was either come into this little area on this upper sloping pretty tight line, and I'm not expecting neutral sell up below that. Unless we get a sideways or dollar rally, and I don't see that with to make potential new highs of $1.3541. US dollar is CHF, probably say the most likely scenario. So short term, interesting, we are neutral to slightly bearish. Sell rally forecast, lower move lows and lower move highs are indicative of a bear trend. So short term, we are bearish, but I would use signal here. Caution. We definitely got a signal. Look to sell rallies. So what happens instead of selling into breaks because you don't want to get caught selling in the hole. But if you start to see, especially the euro erode, let alone if there's a big play on all the other currencies, if the dollar gets a rally against that, then perhaps you can see the pound US dollar press and remove lows, and maybe even stayed inside. Come through this interestingly and take out this area. Don't have a buy signal here, even though we had a very positive extremes. This is an area where you had a lot of, now I would say you want to key off support or resistance, so it's
pretty
this last
tight
high
around
right
I'm not
here, any
expecting
rally
much of a
above
sell-off below that,
89.47,
unless we
would
get a
have us
major
on the
dollar
neutral
rally, and I don't see
campaign
that
here,
with
not
a
necessarily
Biden
the bullish
administration
campaign.
coming in
Downward
right now.
sloping resistance
U.S. dollar
here
CHF
is very
Let's see
strong.
how
Now
this is
remember,
going.
this even though we have Brexit coming
enough,
on, and
what do we
the
have
Swiss
here?
is
We were
obviously
waiting.
part of
We
the
were a
EU.
big
The
bear.
Swiss
We were waiting for a
currency is
signal.
a
Flight to
guess what
quality
we got?
currency.
We got a signal.
So you
here.
always have to remember
We
that there's
definitely
a
got
dollar,
signal.
there is a Swiss.
So what
and there's
happened
the Japanese
yen?
yen right here? We have
For the European
this
basket
rally
of currencies,
and
the
we
Swiss
settled.
is
Let's see,
definitely
was
one of the
the open.
earmarks for
Did
flight
we
to
do it?
quality.
88.94.
Right now, like I
I
said, we are waiting for a signal. We'll see what happens over the first couple days of the week.
This week.
Okay, so
ahead,
this stayed
and
in
also
the
see
sides.
if the other
Interestingly
currencies, such
enough,
as the euro and the
don't
pound,
have
they
a
fall
buy
off.
signal
Now,
here.
most of the currencies
Even though we
fall
had a
off
very
versus the
positive
dollar.
close.
I would expect to see this
Right
U.S.
now, I
dollar
would say
Swiss
you want to key
continue
off
to
pressure resistance up towards
this last high right here,
a
a rally above 89.47.
If it's legitimate and there's strength, or let alone
campaign
dollar
here,
strength
not
across the board,
necessarily
then
the
most
we
bullish
would
campaign,
probably
dollar
here,
strength
not
across the board,
necessarily
then
the
most
we
bullish
would
campaign,
probably see a
downward
little more
sloping
follow-through
resistance
getting
here
up towards this 90 even
is very
area.
strong. Now remember,
Last
this
low that was
even though we have
stamped in here, this
Brexit
would be
coming
another
on,
key
and
directional
the
pivot.
Swiss
So I think
is
right in
obviously
this
in part
area
of the
here,
EU,
you'd
the
probably be
Swiss
buffered and
currency
stop.
is a flight to
Interestingly
quality currency.
enough, though,
So you
while
always
this
have
market has
remember
been
that there's the dollar and
unwinding,
there's the
it's
Swiss
had a
and
lot
there's
more
the Japanese
volatility.
yen. For the
me,
European
volume
basket of currencies,
and
the
volatility
Swiss
and
is
range
definitely one of the
ranges
earmarks
than the
for,
euro US
flight to
dollar, which
quality.
is significant
Right
when
now, like I said,
we are
a
waiting
currency
for a
such as
signal.
the Swiss
We'll see what
overtakes
happens
the
over
euro
first because usually it
ahead,
trades
and
inside
also
them.
see if
Inside
the other
the euro,
currencies
it's a bigger
such as the
currency.
euro and the pound
So when
they
this is
fall off,
most of the currencies
reacting
fall
like
off
that,
versus
that
the
tells me
dollar,
that it's
I would
possible
expect
that
to
the Swiss
see
is going
this
to become
US dollar
place
Swiss
soon.
continue to
But we're waiting
pressure
for a signal.
resistance up
So
towards
we really
this
don't have anything for you there.
89.47 area.
Let's go and if it's
jump around
legitimate
the
and
ocean
there's strength, or
the
let
other way
alone
and
dollar
go
strength
to
across
Japan.
the board, then most
The U.S. dollar Japanese yen
has
has
been
been
in a very
interesting
this 90 even
neutral
area.
phase here.
This
We've been
last
waiting
low
for
that
a
was stamped
breakout
in here, this
upside
would
or
be another
downside.
key directional pivot. So I think right in this
104.77
stop,
This is a
interestingly
chop fest.
enough, though,
Be very, very
while this
cautious.
market has been
unwinding,
especially trading
more
right around this
volatility
here.
Excuse me,
I would
volume
look to, if you are
and volatility
a bull,
and
to
range
buy against
ranges
this
than the euro US dollar, which
area.
is significant.
However,
when
a failure here would mean
a currency such as the Swiss overtakes the euro
most
as far as
likely
those
pressing
variables.
this
Downward
usually
trend
it
trades
trades
inside
103
them,
even.
inside the euro.
Remember,
it's a
the
bigger
U.S. dollar
currency.
Japanese yen
So when this
has
is
been
in a downtrend for
reacting
quite some
like
time,
that,
making
that tells
lower
me
move
that
lows
it's
and
possible
lower
that
move
the
highs,
Swiss is going to
this
become in
significant
place
lower
soon.
move low and lower
But
move
we're
high
waiting for a
here
signal.
really
So we really don't have
confirm
anything
how
for you
much
there.
this
Let's
U.S.
go
dollar yen doesn't want
jump
to
around
get
the
a big
ocean
rally going
the other
on,
way,
and
and
go to
settling into a
Japan.
neutral phase could
The
be
U.S.
exactly
dollar
what's going
Japanese
on.
yen has been in a
Um,
very interesting.
where they don't have
neutral
Brexit
phase
that they're
here.
dealing with.
We've been
Everything
waiting for a
between,
breakout
Japan and
upside
the
or
US is,
downside.
just moving along
104.77
as it
down to
normally does. There's no
103.65. Trade
this
deals
is
are
a
going to be
chow
negotiated.
fest.
Everything's
Yeah,
been
be
done with
very,
that.
very cautious,
As far as
production
trading
side
right
around
things
this
like
midpoint
that. That's
here.
the only thing that
I would look to
if
you
you
are a
2021
bull
hopefully
to buy
against things come
this
back
103.65
online.
area.
The Japanese
However, a
economy
failure
and also
here
the
would
strength
mean
of the yen.
newer move lows, and
I
have us
don't
most
see the
likely
dollar getting
pressing
a
this
big
downward
move to
trend
upside
towards
once
103
again
even.
unless we
Remember, the
break
U.S.
out
dollar
above this
Japanese yen has been in
104.77
a
area.
downtrend,
And then even
for
if
quite
we
some
do
time
trend
here,
here,
this significant
get
lower
this
move low and lower move high
place
here,
right here.
really
So
confirm
if we just use
how
these
much this
significant
U.S. dollar
levels right
yen
here,
doesn't want to get a
if we do
big
get the
rally
breakout
going
here,
on,
meaning
then
that
we
we would have
settling
be
into a
set for
neutral phase
neutral,
could be exactly what's
short-term
going on.
bullish, longer-term, medium,
Where
longer-term neutral.
they don't have
because
Brexit
if you look
that
at
they're dealing with.
where we're
Everything
trading
between,
here,
Japan
and
most
the
of
U.S. is the
uh,
fall. Actually, if we go
just
from
moving
September,
along as it normally
hit
does,
this
there's no
area, right around
trade
the
deals that are going to
midpoint
be
of
negotiated.
where we were
Everything's been
bouncing
done
around
with
in
that.
September.
As far
that
as
would put us right above
production side and
this
things like
area
that.
where
That's
the
the only
downward
thing
sloping
that
line is coming into
2021.
So we should probably come
hopefully,
into a lot of
things
heavy
as things come
resistance
back
at
up
this area.
That's good
They
for
make
the
it a little
Japanese
clearer
economy
than
and also the strength of the
horizontal
yen.
line right there.
So yeah,
I don't see the
105.24
dollar getting
area.
a
I think you
big
would
move to the
most likely
upside
break out
chop
above this
around as we come out of
104.77
as we
area.
And then even
take
if we
out
do, longer
think we have
term
to be
downward
mindful
trend and
of
start
the
to go
trend
into
here.
a neutral
And we'll
trend.
get this
Once we start to develop
right
a base there.
So if we just use
now
these
remember,
significant
if
levels right here,
I'm bearish to dollar
if we do get the
overall
breakout
for next
here,
year,
then maybe we would have
as
to be
we,
set for a
have
neutral,
transition of
short-term
presidents, what
bullish,
have you. We know we're
longer-term,
going to have a
medium,
lot of longer-term neutral
turmoil,
because
but
if you look
politically
at
in the
where we're
United
trading
States
as
here,
far as overturning all kinds of things which
that
fall
actually,
impacts
if we go from
businesses
September
besides the corona
and we hit this
virus
area right around
lockdowns
the
that have
midpoint
impacted
of
businesses
where we were
globally,
bouncing around in
including
September,
in the U.S.
that would put us
right
right
above.
above
We have the whole issue of how is it
downward
going to get through this winter? We don't even know if it's going to be. So we'll probably come into a lot of heavy resistance at this area.
It's going to be the same or less. Right now, things aren't looking in a positive direction.
So yeah, 105.24 area. I think vaccines that are most likely see us buffer against that first and kind of shop around as we come out of population within the next year. Take out the longer. So we'll see how that happens. Trend, but we're going to forget about neutral. We can't predict anything when it comes to Mother Nature. We can predict is what goes on in the marketplace, and especially by price action. The dollar price action right now is showing stability as far as the U.S. dollar yen. So as far as I don't have too much pressure to the downside unless we have a failure politically in the United States as far as overturning all kinds of things. We had a negative close. I think that the reason we want to sell off dollar yen is because when if it was just a dollar trending move that was going on Friday, you would have the dollar down versus all the currencies, or the dollar up versus worse than it was last. That wasn't the case. What we had the euro and the pound that fell apart, and the Swiss obviously also fell off, which gave the dollar index a boost. Now, when those currencies are typically falling against the dollar, that's typically when the yen goes the other way. So we'll see how that happens. I would say that Friday's sell-off in the yen is probably most likely attributed to profit taking on the week, as well as the fact that the other majors marketplace, and especially by price action. Price action right now is showing stability. So usually there's an inverse relationship, meaning so as far when the other currencies are bears downside, unless we have a failure here that a 103.65 cents to you. We had a negative close on Friday. I think that the reason we have the sell on dollar yen is because now if Monday when the sell-off just a dollar trending move that was going on Friday, well then you would have the dollar down versus all the currencies, or the bear up versus most of the currencies. The other thing that wasn't the case. What we had the euro and the pound that fell apart. And the other currencies obviously go higher. That fell off. We have the nice divergence, which means that the boost coronavirus. When those currencies are typically falling against the dollar, that's typically have some interesting signals the other way. So I would say that Friday's sell-off in the yen is probably most likely attributed to profit taking on the week, as well as the fact that the other majors were going. You want to talk about bears versus the dollar. So usually there's an inverse relationship, meaning that when the other currencies are bears, the yen is a bull. Okay, if that that'll make that's clear sense to you. So I think that's what we noticed on Friday. So we'll see what happens on Monday's opening. How we go all the way back. If Monday, April, this sell-off, there's follow dollar index below this 103.65 in March, all bets are off. And then bottom at the dollar being most likely bear, going all the way into the other thing is that if it does continue to go lower, we're waiting for a signal. And the other currencies on Monday go higher. That means that we have the nice divergence. Past month, you were saying coronavirus topping the table as far as the most part. So I'd be very cautious. So we'll have some interesting with this one. So we're seeing dollar weakness here, and this is why I think the dollar index. Look at the other, especially when you have a sell-off in the pound and the euro. And as long as they don't make new highs versus the dollar, the middle range currencies right now, they're extremely strong versus the dollar. But even if they just sell off a little bit and have a neutral trade, that keeps the dollar index in a positive way. So it's going to be really hard to just look at the dollar index and get a gauge for strength or all the way back weakness with the dollar, because we have the currencies now that are free flowing and starting to come back in their own way. This currency bottom, the first part of this year, because of the coronavirus, it was pretty much a one-way trade with most currencies, either bullish or bearish versus the dollar. We're waiting for a signal. Did it top on Monday? So with this one, we are waiting for a signal. Month you were saying dollar market topping, you were wrong. Dollar interestingly, I'd be very cautious with this one. So we're seeing dollar weakness here, and this is why I think the dollar index, especially when you have a sell-off in the pound and the euro, and as long as they don't make new highs versus the dollar. The middle range currencies right now, they're extremely strong versus the dollar, but even if they just sell off a little bit and have a neutral higher move highs, that keeps the dollar index after a higher move in a positive way. So it's going to be really hard to just look at the dollar index and get a gauge for strength. This is a very vertical trend, just like the Australian dollar. We have the currencies now that are free flowing and starting to come back. I would say correction is overdue. The first part of this year, because of the coronavirus, it was pretty much a one-way trade with most currencies, either bullish or bearish versus the dollar. It makes a new high and now starts to come off. So with this one, we are waiting for a signal. We see a failure of these lows. Dollars, interestingly enough, that we bounced off and had followed, showing something Wednesday into a little bit different. But when you look at this, if it comes back below this here, that would
bearish
mean
engulfing line,
a higher move
sell
high
signal,
and a lower move low. A week and a half
put us on
ago,
a neutral
and then all of a
bias,
sudden
so
we had
any
this
trading below
rally
70.07 here
has
so
us
now,
in a short-term corrective phase targeting at least the 68.78 area.
We made
any
higher move highs
we'd be down to
after a higher move low, which is
most likely not going to happen.
Once again,
this would only
a
be
bullish trend. Now, this is
a
a very
case for
vertical trend,
dollar
just like the
strength.
Australian
Now,
dollar.
for whatever reason,
so as far as being bearish, no, I would say
dollar,
correction is overdue, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon.
But
this
really
one here,
it seems like it is
2 to 4.
the volatility
2 to 3 weeks
just
it
really
makes a new
the
high
dollar
and now
bull
starts to
raging.
come off.
We'll see how it reacts next
unless
there's a big
profit
taking
taking
we
move
see
on the
a
long-term
failure
trend
of these lows
at
the
the end of the month
support area.
just
it
as
was
they clear out their books and
failing
before they
Wednesday
head
into
into
Friday.
2021.
But when you look at this,
That's
if it
also
comes
very
back
possible,
below
but
this,
those are scenarios we have 2 weeks
to
to wait for. So
A
right now
higher
we're waiting
high
for a
and a
signal
lower move low. That would put us on a neutral
failure from
bias.
$1.70
So definitely any trading below
would be
70.
it. So if you're an aggressive bear,
has a
selling
short-term
against the current high
phase
is
targeting at least
probably a very low risk
any
trade.
extreme break.
However, I would not risk much beyond this high because any rally above here confirms
this would only
strength
be
of this market is just
a case
place.
for
It is not
dollar
gone yet.
strength.
So we
Now,
don't
if
have
we
a
have
real
for whatever reason
sell
a big
signal yet. We're
turnaround
waiting
in
for it.
dollar, whether it's
So it does
because
look
of
like it's getting a
geopolitical
little
events
toppy
or
just by the high
whatever. I
volatility
can't
has been
think would really
really
happen over the
currency.
next 2 to
Now let's go to the U.S. dollar
2 to
Canada,
3 weeks.
see what's
just to
going
really
on
get the
above our
dollar
borders
bulls
here from the
raging.
United States.
Even if it's just for a
This is an
unless it's a big
interesting
profit-taking move on the long-term
trend. Obviously, bearish
at the end of the month,
bearish,
just
lows,
as they
clear out their
lower
books
move
and
highs,
balance
lower move
before
lows,
they
head into 2021.
and we had that consistently
also
going
very
on into
possible,
this.
but those are
week.
scenarios
However,
we
the
have 2
close
weeks
on
to wait
Friday
for.
has
So right
us
now we're waiting
wondering
for a
what's
signal
going to happen.
So we will
failure
see
from
how
$1.70.07 would be it. So if you're an aggressive bear,
Sunday into
selling
Monday,
against the current high is
if we get
probably a very low risk trade.
However, I would not risk much beyond this high
because
any
any
rally above
area
here
confirms.
But if we could
the
have
strength
another
of this
positive
market
day
is
on
just
Monday,
in place and is not gone yet, so we
might
don't have a real
mean that we're starting to find another area
for
to
it.
consolidate.
But it does look like
for
it's
the
getting
US
a
dollar
little toppy
Canada.
just by the
I
how
have to say
it's in
today,
place and is not gone yet, so we
might
don't have a real
mean that we're starting to find another area
for
to
it.
consolidate.
But it does look like
for
it's
the
getting
US
a
dollar
little toppy
Canada.
just by the
I
how
have to say that I
volatility has
don't
been,
see
handling
any
this
real
currency.
big
Now let's go to the
fundamental
U.S. dollar
reason
Canada.
for this market to
See what's
have,
going on above
a
our
big
borders
rally
here from the
that
United
would
States.
be going on for months on end.
This is an interesting,
most likely what we're going to have is a short-term correction, something like we had back in September,
lows
for a month, kind of grind higher and then have like a spike.
And we had that
consistently
going
on into this week.
I think
However,
that's
the
most
close
likely
on
what we're gonna see
Friday
with the
has
US dollar
us
Canada.
wondering what's going to happen
wait
here.
until the
So
next
we
week
will
or so.
see
Remember,
how
we're heading
the
into
market reacts
holiday
on
markets as well.
Sunday
So
into
that being
Monday.
said, with the holiday
And
markets,
if
we
we
really
get a
kind of have to wait for a
significant,
signal. You don't want to jump in front of a
show
trade.
of strength,
But
now,
if you want a low
really
risk
rally up
buy
to
right
$1.29
now,
area,
I would say
but
that
if we could have another positive day on Monday,
so I use the low from Thursday.
Starting to find another area
what
to
is it?
consolidate.
For the
US dollar Canada, right there at $1.2707.
Turn aggressive
reason
bold
for this market
nice
to
little
have
area to start
a big
pecking
rally
off,
that
but
would be
I
going on for
not
months on
risk
end.
much below here. Any
Most
failure
likely,
trading
what
below
we're going to have is a short-term
$1.27.
correction, something
This
like
market's
we
just
had back in
pounding new
September.
lows. So
for a
low
month, kind
risk
of
buy,
grind
don't
higher
have
and then
buy
have like a
signal. Let's
spike
see
into
what
an
the
area and
looks
then
like.
fall back off of it. I think that's most likely what we're
hourly
going to see
for the
with
Canada.
We
Well,
have to wait.
here's what you had made
so.
the lower move low, lower move high,
holiday markets
higher
as
move
well.
low.
So that being
higher
said,
move
with the
high.
holiday markets,
So I would key off on probably this $1.2752 area on the hourly chart.
If you want a
low
low
risk
risk
buy
from $1.2720,
I would say that you can
in a very big bearish way. So
yeah, depending on where the market
is
is low from Thursday,
you could risk somewhere between this
$1.2719
and $1.2707.
So right there at
$1.2707 even.
If you are
anything
a
below
short-term
there,
aggressive bull, this might be a nice little area to
trying
start
to catch a falling
pecking
knife.
off.
But
If we are going to get a short-term
not risk
turn
much
on the
below
hourly,
here,
it looks
any
like we're getting
failure
kind of a
trading
little
below
signal
$1.2707. this might pound new lows. So it's a low risk buy. We don't have a buy signal, and Monday morning will too. So we've looked at these currencies hourly for the Canada U.S. dollar TRY. Here's what you got. You had made the lower move low, lower move still high, going sideways, higher move low. Yeah, I think the dollar index, excuse me, once again key off of probably this dollar starting to find a area on an hourly chart pattern. Definitely a failure. So we'll see. We don't have any real signals there yet. But remember, we have the euro U.S. dollar. We do have this, depending on where the market opens in place, you could risk somewhere negative this dollar 27 on Friday if we get follow through and take out this dollar 2058 area on a daily even that confirms lower 2058 area on a daily even that confirms lower. Anything below there, you're definitely a short term just turn trying to catch a falling knife. So we'll see how they're going to get a short term turn on these hourly. You two always check out forex-trading-unlock.com. We'll see how this all for your Forex trading needs. Sunday and when you want to pull up the charts, you just go along to the market analysis education tab. So we've looked at these currencies around the globe. Tab there, U.S. dollar TRY with the numbers, and you can look at do your own analysis, and you don't have to log in. Still going sideways, and you have access I think the dollar index. Excuse me. Once again, is also remember to subscribe. Starting to find a basing pattern. So we'll see. We don't have any real signals there to trade these. Remember, we have the euro U.S. dollar, and we do have this short-term sell signal still in place, and with the negative close on Friday, if we get follow through and take out this dollar 2058 area on daily, good luck in the trading week ahead lows, and definitely a short-term turn in the dollar index. So we'll see how that individual videos for the euro, the Canada, always check out forex-trading-unlock.com. Viewing this one, and you want to hang out trading needs, and when you want to pull up the charts, you just go along, go to the market analysis education tab, hit the workstation tab there, and then it'll pull up the charts with the numbers, and then you can do your own analysis, and you don't have to log in or anything, and you have access to all kinds of things. Not to mention, also remember to before we get into that, we just want to show you our disclaimer to remind you that this webinar is for illustrative, and also if you want to learn how to trade these high probable Japanese candlestick patterns, remind you also the book. Please subscribe. Forex Trading Unlocked available on already. Share it with your trading friends. Also, we would appreciate it. And thank you for your time here today. And signals, good luck in the trading week ahead. If you want to learn how to trade some really good signals, read the book High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns. We're going to do a couple individual videos for the euro, the Canada, the pound, by yours truly. Turn this one off. So if you're viewing this one and you want to hang out to our live action screen here. We have the forex-trading-unlock.com website pulled up, and we already went to our market analysis and education tab and pulled up the workstation page. Our workstation page here has a bunch of the economic number calendars and a bunch of other things on the page, but we're going to focus in on the chart. Disclaimer to remind you that this webinar is the British pound U.S. dollar has been in a bullish mode since middle of September, and actually going all the way back to please subscribe March. Interestingly enough, let's see how these things are shaping up and what's going on. Now remember, the British pound U.S. dollar, if you want to learn how to trade some really good signals, read the book High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns. It's a longer-term trend. Look at what happened as of Friday. We have this trend here from September and October. That's not a steep slope. It's a pretty decent upward slope. We have the forex-trading-unlock.com website pulled up, and we already went to our market. But then we have this longer-term trend here and pulled up the workstation page. Our workstation page here has a bunch of economic number calendars and a bunch of other things on the page, but we're going to focus in on the chart that we already have prepared for you. Interestingly enough, the British pound U.S. dollar has been in a bullish mode since middle of September, and actually has been all the way back to the pound. Friday it closed. Interestingly enough, let's see how pretty interesting these things are shaping. We had a sell signal back here on December 4th. December 4th seemed to be a little U.S. dollar turn is for most of the currencies that were bullish versus the dollar. Not all of them, because other ones are making new move highs. Longer term trend. Look at what happened as of Saturday morning. Friday now. We have this trend here from September and October. That's just like the euro has sold off. Slope. It's a pretty neutral to higher posture, area down to $1.30. But then we have this longer term
interestingly here, it had come close to it a week ago, right after the sell signal came really close, and then it rallied. And it looked like it was going to fail. But what did it do? All right. Well, here's what it did. Interestingly enough, the long-term trend goes all the way back to when the dollar spiked as the next couple sessions from Wednesday, Friday, into Friday just above that. Pretty interesting. This market came off. We had a sell signal back here on December 4th. December 4th seemed to be right on that line. Turn. So we know that most of the if you have lower move lows and lower move highs, that's indicative of a downtrend. So short term on the hourly, because it's Saturday coinciding daily sell signal after a higher move high. Just like the euro from that higher move high, we've had the sell signal here had us targeting this $1.30. So I think that we're going to maintain that short-term trend had come close to it a week ago. Highs on the hourly after the sell signal came really close, and then it rallied. Use as your biggest guide here for that. What did it do? Watch the $1.33. Here's what it did. Area. It came down, also watched almost hit our target. Then it rallied up, made a lower move high in area as of trading above these two levels Wednesday. Then it rallied up, made a lower move high in area as of trading above these two levels Wednesday off the short-term sell signal. Now remember, this market on the daily here, we already hit made a lower move downside target of $1.32.12 for the sell signal. If you have lower move lows and lower move highs, that's indicative which is right down of trend. So short term, so as the signal been completed, we have a coinciding for the most part daily sell signal after a higher move high. To do here would from that higher move high, multiple positions on lower move lows and lower move highs. We took one off at the first level at $1.32. So I think that we're going to maintain that short-term trend of lower move lows and lower move highs on the hourly basis. However, one thing I would have we use as your biggest guide here for that would be watch the $33.22 area. So we got in and also watch this $1.34. So we're in a good spot. $34.79 area. Trading above these two levels will have us off the short-term sell signal. $3.45 area. Now remember, as long as we don't on the daily here, we already hit second trade our downside target of $1.32.12 for the sell signal, and we almost hit $1.31.05, which is right in the middle of our target have this market remaining. So has the signal been completed? To do so, especially for the most part. Yes. Somewhere on Sunday or Monday, the right thing to do here would be if you had a multiple that would be a really good indication that we had two on. We took one off at the first level. Remember this number, $1.31.32. So now we're riding one more short. So hanging out $1.31.32. However, we do have we're in here at $1. Well, we didn't get in on the close here. We actually got in later. So we got in at $1.34.09 here. So we're in a good spot. Here's our line. Look at this. Already moved our red line plus for the hourly stops down to this $1.33.45 area. So as long as we don't pierce that, $1.31.32 will remain hourly low. To get an extended is down daily low $1.35.05. So if we come below that, if we hit this, take this $1.31.32. Remember that takes us below the overall slope, especially if we can take out this market in a bull market somewhere on Sunday or Monday. This $1.31 has us definitely confirming that would be a really good indication trade back down through this area again, making lower move lows as we come down to try and test this upper sloping support here. This is the more evenly sloped support line holding this trend intact. If we fail here, well then we're going to be definitely looking to hammer this $1.30.04. Beyond that, we have to wait and see what happens as far as any type of signal. Here's our line. We don't have any to go off of that line. We're coming into Brexit. This is odds are very good that as we get through this week, if we're going to have any real extreme move, it will happen this week, and then we'll probably start to settle into a very quiet, neutral, sideways trade where range traders are the only ones that are making money. Take this $1.31.32. Remember that this week ahead is our last full trading week of the trend. Next 2 weeks after that are going to be broken up because we have the Christmas and New Year's holidays. We're going to be confirming a corrective phase if we can trade back down through this area again, making lower very mindful of in the fact the upper sloping support here. This is the more evenly sloped will not be traveling support line holding this trend intact. We do know that if we fail here, well then we're going to be definitely looking to hammer this $1.30.04. Beyond that, we have to wait and see what happens. We will be back with another. We don't have any to go off of that. Remember, we're coming into Brexit soon. Odds this week, if we're going to have any real extreme move, it will happen this week, and then we'll probably start to settle into a very quiet, neutral, sideways trade where range traders are the only ones that are going to be making money. Emails
details of when the holiday market. So this week ahead is our last full trading week. The next 2 weeks after that are going to be broken up because we have the Christmas and New Year's holidays where we're going to be losing a day of trading no matter what. So that's something you need to be very mindful of, and the fact that a lot of people are on vacations and what have you, and Forex trading in this coronavirus world, people will not be traveling like they normally do, but we do know that people still will be traveling over the holidays.
Everyone, this is Teddy Cox for Forex Trading Unlocked, and we are here today for a
we will be back
Forex
with
Euro US dollar
individual
weekly
Forex market weekly analysis video soon.
Through the 18th.
And check out. Remember to go to our YouTube disclaimer that subscribe to our Forex Trading little bell too.
And then we also want to do a quick
emails of
plug
when we
to
have new
remind you to
videos coming
subscribe
out.
to our YouTube
And
channel,
check out the
Forex
book High
Trading
Probable
Unlocked.
Japanese
Please definitely share it with your Forex trading and
best buy
other
sell
online trading friends.
into
And
your
if you
trading
want to
systems
also
and
learn about the
methodologies.
trading signal
And
that
this
we're going
book
to talk
is
about in
available
this
on
video,
Amazon.com
read the book
in
High
paperback
Probable
and
Japanese
Kindle
Candlestick
versions.
Patterns. It's
I thank
available
you
on
very much for your time, and
Amazon.com
always go to
paperback and Kindle versions. You can also read it if you
forex-trading-unlocked.com
are
for all your
Amazon
Forex information.
reader as well. So with that, we'll go right to
Everyone,
our
this is Teddy Cox from
Forex-trading-unlocked.com website. Forex-trading-unlocked.com website where we have the
Forex
Euro US dollar
page
page already pulled up, and all you have to do is go to the nav bar at the top of the website, any page, and you go down and you hit the Forex Analysis and Education tab, and you hit the Forex Trading Unlocked Workstation tab. On that page, you can see all the economic numbers that come out for the week ahead. As far as the euro is concerned, we do have wages, labor, total trade balance, and construction output coming out.
And if you want to also learn about the trading signal that we're going to talk about in this video,
and then we
read the
have
book High Probable Japanese
retail sales for the
Candlestick
US
Patterns,
dollar, so that might have a little bit of
in paperback
movement
and Kindle
for
versions.
the
You can also read it
market
if you
for
are
those
Amazon
on Monday,
Prime
and then let's see what
reader
we got
as
going
well.
on
So
here.
with that, we're going to go right to our
Forex-trading-unlocked.com website where we have
kind of through most of the major numbers.
workstation page already pulled up, and we have the holiday nav bar at the top of the website. Any page, you go down to the Forex Analysis and Education tab,
in the week
and
ahead.
hit the
Now
Forex
remember, this is the
Trading
last full
Unlocked
trading week
Workstation
ahead of
tab.
us.
On that
Before we
page,
start
you
to
can
head into holiday
see all the
markets.
economic numbers
So
that
as
come
far
out
as the
for
euro
the
is
week
concerned,
ahead.
we have what do we
As
have
far
to
as the
think
euro
about?
is concerned, we do
we
have
someone in the
wages,
chat room.
labor,
Right,
total
right,
trade
awesome
balance, and
thing.
construction
Cool.
output
If
coming
you
out
have any questions while we're
on,
talking about the euro US dollar,
the
definitely
14th.
leave them or put it down there,
and then
we'll
we
answer
have
them as we go along.
retail
So to
sales
start
for
off,
the
the
US
euro
dollar,
US
so that
dollar
might
had a
have
dark
little
cloud
bit of
cover sell
movement
signal
for
back
the
on December
market
the
for those
4th.
on Monday, and then let's see.
Since then, we traded down into this current week that
December
just passed, and we had a nice
17.
little bounce on Wednesday.
We're
Rallied
kind of
up
through
and
most of the major
peaked on
numbers for the
Friday, and then
beginning
had a
of the month.
negative close.
We had the
So
holiday
right now we have
unemployment,
made on
there's
a
a couple of euro
hourly
numbers
basis.
into play, but
Let's show you
nothing
this.
really too big this week
We've
ahead.
made
Now remember, this is the last full trading week ahead
lower
of
move
us.
lows and lower
before
move
we start
highs
to head into holiday
consistently.
markets.
Now
So
we
as
had
far
a
as
nice
the
little
euro is
rally
concerned, we have
from
what do we have
Thursday
to
into
think
Friday. Like I said, it peaked.
we
And then
got
Friday, as you
someone in
can
our
see,
chat
we
room.
ran into a
Rodney,
wall at the
awesome,
top
thanks.
there.
Cool.
We have a short
If you have any
trade
questions while we're
from
talking about the euro US
$1.2147 that we had our
definitely
initial
leave them
stop
or
was at
put it down there and we'll answer them as we go
$1.2175.
along.
And now
So to start off,
the euro US dollar had a positive
cloud
stop
cover
of
sell
21.40.
signal back
Our
on
downside
December
target is
the
20.45, so that's down.
Since
below
then, we
the,
traded down
chart
into
here.
the
So
prior
risk reward ratio on this
week
trade
just passed,
and
and
we had a nice little bounce on Wednesday.
right now, that's in place.
Rallied up.
We have
as
peaked
long as
on
the
Friday,
market
and then
doesn't
had a
get above this
negative
20,
close.
40,
So right now, we have
made
we
still have it
hourly
on, and I
basis.
think that with
Let's
the
show
way
you
it
this.
settled on Friday,
we
that
have
we have a
made
good shot of the market coming down at
lower
least down
move
towards
lows
the
and lower move
29 to
highs
2080 area
consistently.
sometime
Now,
on
we
Sunday.
had a nice little rally
Monday
from
night,
Thursday
or
into
Monday
Friday,
morning
like I
rather.
said, it
Now
peaked.
the nice thing about
And
this
Friday,
is
as you
remember
can
we
see, we
started
ran
out, we
into
have
a
the
wall
daily
at the
sell
top
signal
there.
in
We
place.
have a short
So on
trade
the hourly
from
we have
$1.2147
also
that we
a
had
sell
our
signal
initial
in
stop
place.
was at
Now, keynote,
$1.2175,
that you want to really
and
pay
now we
attention to
lowered
the
it to
downside
a
target here for the
positive
hourly
stop
is
of
20.45. Our downside
Now let's
target
take
is
off this
20.45, so
chart,
that's
go
down
back to
below
our
the
daily
here.
chart here.
And what happens
So
if
the
we
risk
hit
reward ratio on this trade
is pretty strong.
let's put a
So right now that's in
line
place.
right at
We have as long as the market doesn't get above this 21.40 area,
45,
we still have
easy
it
adjust
on, and I
this.
think that with the way it settled right on the website, we have a good shot of the market coming down and figure stuff out for 2090 to 2080 area sometime on Sunday into once again, we have our dark cloud cover on the daily signal. Nice thing about this is, remember, we started out, we have the daily sell signal in place. So on the hourly, we have since it's our hourly. Also a sell signal in place. Reddish line, because anything below here, we definitely have a downside target here for the hourly is 2045. Now let's take off this hourly chart. All right, so here's our levels and things that we're watching. And what happens if we hit the 2045? Negotiations between the UK and the EU have started to, well, they haven't been. We've been talking about Brexit for years, actually. I actually go on, see how easily we adjust this. And we were just talking about how within a couple of weeks we will no longer be using the term Brexit, we'll be using the term post-Brexit. But it doesn't look like they're going to have much. Once again, we have our dark cloud cover on the daily signal. We're targeting down towards the $20.45 area between Boris Johnson and Angela Merkel. So we have the daily and the hourly that has sell signals in place. What does that mean? Anything below what happens if the hourly is right? Let's just say that our short-term hourly sell signal gets follow through on Sunday into Monday, here's our levels and our things that we're watching. If it takes out this low on the 31st, right here, negotiations between the UK Wednesday, and the EU have started then that would be very, very bearish. We've been talking about Brexit for years, actually. We have made a higher move low, a lower move high. We're just talking about how within a couple of weeks we will no longer be using the term Brexit in the short run on a daily basis. Brexit, but it doesn't look like they're going to have short run, medium or longer run, hammered in definitely in the short term. Now, since we're coming into, like I said, this is the last full trading week of the year. After that, so we have holiday weeks that are going to be broken on the hourly to have sell signals in place. What does that mean? A lot of market participants. What happens if the hourly is right? Let's just say that our short-term hourly sell signal gets followed through on Sunday into Monday, Tuesday. Points and know what's going on with your levels. This low you're going to get here, promise it was made on Wednesday. So our bullish breakout level would be very $21.61. Why? Because that would mean that we would have made a higher move low. Why? Because that would mean that we would have made a higher move low, a lower move high, and then a lower move low, which would have us at least in the short run on a daily basis. It would confirm a bearish to neutral this chart down a little bit. Only in the short run, we have medium or longer run, but definitely in the short term. Now, since we're coming into, like I said, this is the last full trading week of the year. After that, we have two holiday weeks. Right now is keeping the trend intact. You're not going to have a lot of market participants beginning of November into the marketplace during those 2 weeks. You're going to have a lot of algos kicking around. You should be mindful of the fact that this low back in December, know what's going on with November rather. Don't you're going to $1.16. Promise you, it's not going to be a high a week and a half. So our bullish breakout level will be this $1.21. More volatility and more of a range within a month's period than the euro had for almost a year and a half before the coronavirus hit earlier this year. So it's very significant that on the yearly basis, this chart down a little bit this year. So here not the biggest range because the euro's been all over the place. But to have that kind of volatility in a month heading into Brexit and the holiday markets, upward sloping, we have this short-term sell signal that right now is really right for a correction now that now it had to keep this $21.77 area intact, most likely keeping us heading to December 31st. Mindful of the fact that this December 31st, after we passed that, obviously November rather was at $1.16. Once we're talking about post-Brexit, who knows how long we're going to have to figure out deals, but they will be, and Brexit is in full motion. So the extreme I'm looking for right now is, let's see a test of the low from last week. If we fail there, that confirms lower move lows after